Research channel, and I am going to be going live right now with you. We got some things to talk about. We have a lot to talk about regards to the project Swift, Metapath, previous research recaps, and also upcoming key events that you got to watch out for. So let's get started. Listen, this is the first of a few recaps I'll be giving you on Swift. Since I started back with this channel, I said I would like to make sure that we stay focused, that we are condensed in our mindsets, looking out for key information to help us put us in a position to win. So one of the first things I did this particular season, if you will, for the projects in technology with blockchain was to break it down in a few industries. Now, you can't chase everything. And even if you could, a lot of us are with limited funds and resources. Therefore, we have to be very careful about how we navigate. If we had unlimited resources, we could put a certain amount of money and purchase a certain amount of tokens, and we could wait on all of them to explode and let the best project win. But that's not exactly how it goes, is it? Most of us have to make a decision. And how do you know how to make the right decisions? There's so many options. And the reason there's so many options is because people are just saying whatever they want to, good, bad, FUD, and also shilling. And it's really hard to know. So what I have done is started to put people in a position to win by simply providing you research without the bias, without the hype. That's been my main thing, research over hype. Now, this week, I'll be doing a few things. So I want to make sure that you have the keys to be successful. This week, I will be releasing a recap video every day, maybe sometimes twice a day, going over my previous research in this format, just like this. You can go and watch the video if you want to see the recorded video from previous research so you can get those key details. But I'm going to summarize it because I realized that a lot of people are kind of conditioned. And they're conditioned because we typically see information online and it's daily updates on price action. Well, if you know anything about me, I don't talk about price action very much at all. And the reason being, it's kind of like forecasting the weather. Unless you have a job where you can focus on price action 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, at every moment, most of us aren't trading like that. Most of us are putting ourselves in a position where we have to make the best decision possible with the available information. So I am not a type of researcher who's going to look at Bitcoin or any other technology for today's price and then you navigate. You need to find someone else who can provide you that. So let me help you to use my resources so you can put yourself in a win. This is the type of researcher I am. When I talk about a project, I look at the technology in the industry it's in. And then I focus on explaining some of these complex aspects of the technology so that the least technological minded person who views my channel can understand the concepts. Just because I talk about a project does not mean that that project is going to be the next big thing. I make the best decision possible to look at projects that are easy to access for someone who may not have a lot of funds and for someone who is looking for the most potential based on entry into that market. So if a project costs $20, not all the people who watch my channel have $20. So I'm going to look at projects typically underneath a penny. Now, I will look at different projects, but I just want you to understand my mindset when it comes to this thing called research. My foundational thing is to find projects that are easy to access for most people. Then number two, I look at the industry. So if the industry is, for example, the car industry, or if it's doors, the door industry, I look at the industry and then I search for projects within that industry that are easy to access and also gives you the most potential in growth. That doesn't mean it won't go to zero tomorrow, because no one can predict how these things are going to work out. That's why we're not financial advisors. So I want to say that before I start, because it's important. Because if you're coming and watching my channel or anyone's platform and they're telling you it's 100x and 10x, they're lying to you. They are lying to you. That is their particular viewpoint. And if you're going to say that's your viewpoint, that's fine. But that's not how you leverage my platform. So let me help you. If you watch me, notice that I don't spend a lot of time talking about Win Moon, Win Lambo. Notice I go and I show you the researchable facts that you can find as well. And I show them to you in a way that I explain it so you can look at the project and say, okay, now I can use this project to do what I want to do. Or I don't want to touch this project because I don't like what I'm hearing. Good or bad, that's not my job. My job is just to provide you research. Now, with that being said, let's talk about what research I've talked about already, what industries that I'm looking at this cycle when it comes to technology cycle for this year and going into next year. And that's also talk about previous projects I've discussed. So first, this year, Underdog Researcher, which is me, and the Underdog Research channel will be focused on a few industries. The first industry is cross-border payments. Now, we've talked about a few. I'll talk about that in a minute, but first, the industry that I'll be focused on is cross-border payments. The next industry is decentralized storage. So if you're interested in projects within the realm of decentralized storage, I'll be talking about that. Also, we'll be talking about layer 2 blockchain technologies. If you're interested in finding out about different projects within that scope, then you need to watch my channel. We'll be talking about real world assets, RWA, projects that have a connection between blockchain and real world assets. So if you're interested in that type of technology, then you'll watch my channel. And lastly, and one of the most I would talk about is music and entertainment and art. Now, these industries are broad, but I will be helping individuals that either want to enter the market of the music industry and find ways to make profit in that industry using technology, or individuals who want to be investors, or if you will, into the technology that people can utilize. Whether you're an artist, musician, or you know someone, this is a booming industry that you need to know about. Now, I've given you one more that I need to tell you about. I've given you a few. The stable coin industry. So when I talk about the ecosystem of stable coins, I'm talking about there are sometimes these utility coins, and then there's a stable coin. So we look at USDC, that's a stable coin, right? So sometimes projects have these stable coins that they utilize in the ecosystem. I'll be talking about that. Now, for those who want to also know that I will have an overarching conversation about the metaverse. The reason being is when we say the words Web3, we don't really get what that means. We're talking about the Oculus glasses. We're talking about the Apple glasses. We're talking about Meta. We're talking about other companies in the industry. We're talking about payments, storage. These are all associated technologies. So it's not enough to just simply talk. I want to walk you through connections. Let me tell you something, and then we'll get started. When I go and I look at a cryptocurrency project, blockchain, or anything else, I don't buy into conversations about big name brand projects. Now, the reason I don't is because I want to ask you a question. How many of you drive a car, drive a vehicle? Now, if you drive a vehicle, there's multiple different types of vehicles, right? And what do? They get to the same place. Now, some vehicles are electric, some use gasoline, some use diesel. We understand that. So generally, we're talking about a vehicle industry, right? The automobile industry. We know that they all have a similar function. Now, here's the thing about it though. What good would an electric vehicle be without the battery? Now let's go a little bit deeper. What good will be the battery without the cable that connects the battery to the vehicle. What good would a motor be that's gasoline without a piston in the motor? What about the lug nuts that keep on the tires? Now, the reason I'm making these examples is I want you to understand my mindset when I apply it to the industry of cryptocurrency blockchain. I don't look for Bitcoin or Ethereum. I look for the inner working hinges, the small things that connect one thing to another. See, while everyone else is spending a lot of time putting their time, money, research efforts on those big major projects, I go the opposite direction. I ask myself, which one of these are the hinges that hold up the door? Which one of these are the piston that runs the motor? Which one of these are the lug nuts that keeps the tire on the vehicle? Which one of this is the cable that connects the battery to the car, metaphorically speaking? Now, this is important because this is the gist of what Underdog Research Channel does. Now, so you know, what I have done is started this research off with cross-border payments. And so this week, you'll hear me recap previous videos I've done on SWFT coin, the utility token, SWFT blockchain, the actual blockchain that holds the data that's transferred, and that will be the start. This right here is my introduction to let you know exactly what is going to be going down this week. Now, this is video number one. It's the introduction to these video recaps where I'll be going back, talking about previous videos. There won't be anything that you see brought up on the screen. You can refer to the videos, but what you will see is, and listen to, is me recap the discussions of certain things because these details some people are missing. Now, that's what we'll be doing. Now, I want to say this to you right now, and this is going to be close to the end of this first video. Later tonight, I'll come on again, and I'll be giving you another video. But I want to tell you one thing, and I think it's important. When I started this research on the project called SWFT, my goals were still the same. I still had the same fundamental aspects of how I looked for SWFT. I looked at Digibyte. I looked at SWFT. I looked at XRP. I looked at different brands for cross-border payments. Now, SWFT was one of those that had the least amount of cost for entry. So my research was based on that. Now, what I didn't realize at the initiation of this research, because you never know where it's going to go, is that I had landed upon something very unique, something that was hidden in plain sight. I had landed upon a project with deep rooted connections, some obvious to most and others hidden. And what I've done is broken this down. But I need to tell you that what I have learned over the last several months since I started researching this project last year around December is that this project is going to be a very interesting project for you to look into. Now, one thing that I think is important about this project is there is plenty of information out there about this project. Listen, if you want somebody to read you coin market cap, there's people who can do it. If you want someone to pull up a PDF of a project white paper and read it for you word by word, there's someone who can do it. You can do it yourself. You don't need me to do that for you. What I wanted to show you are connections that you can find that aren't directly placed in a white paper, that aren't directly shown easily for most people who conduct research on a project. So that is important. Now, if you go through my videos, we'll talk about those different connections. Now, later today, you'll see another video where I'm going to be recapping information from my first video, and I'm going to walk all the way to my last video in different sections every day. Now, I need to warn you right now about one thing that was not expected that came out of my research that I think you should know. If you haven't already done so, I want you to go find two people on YouTube. The first person I want you to find is Black Rue Investing. The reason I'm wearing these sunglasses is because I saw him. He looked so cool a few months ago. He had something going on with his eyes because his allergies, and he wore some black sunglasses just like this. And I told him I'm going to be wearing my black sunglasses. So this black sunglasses, like from the 1990s, is because this is in honor of Black Rue Investing. So Black Rue Investing, Ruel Black, this is for you. Now, I want you to find Black Rue Investing, and one of the things I want you to look for is any reference to his videos about Tim Draper. Now, Tim Draper is over Draper Dragon Investments, and which was an investor in SWFT. I'll tell you this, SWFT Coin, which is a project I've talked about, I had no idea who Tim Draper was. Didn't understand the significance of Tim Draper. Didn't really care, to be honest with you. But it has been revealed to me through his research. He has the most in-depth research on that topic, Tim Draper and the connections, that Tim Draper has an intersection with this project that you must know about. What I have found, which I will release in my Metapath video on this week, is a connection. It's going to blow your mind that no one's talked about or discussed out loud. Now, I just wanted to put that out there. Now, the second person I want you to find. So I told you Black Rue Investing. It's a content creator called The Third Eye, also known as Indigo Saint. His channel is a smaller channel that recently started, which is a collaboration between me and him. Now, this is going to be very important because he talks about the softer ends, the little small pieces that a lot of people don't think about, but he also gives some insights on how these connections can really benefit you. And when I start talking about projects in the music piece and Web3, you're going to need to go ahead and check them out. So that is what I want you to know. So this week, later tonight, I'll do another video. And that will be the first recap of my first video on SWFT in this format. After that, I'll do one every day up until Friday of this week. And then look for my new release of Metapath, part 1 and part 2. And let me tell you this, once you find out what I'm going to open your mind to about Metapath, I've been working on this for weeks. You may look at this SWFT project totally different. Check out Black Rue Investing. You have to check out his Tim Draper videos. It is important. It is so important. So that's all I have. I hope that you don't mind me coming to you this way. I hope you look forward to seeing my next research. And again, I'm not for everybody. If you want somebody to read Coin Market Cap, white papers to you, and tell you what you can do yourself, then they're out there. But if you want someone to provide you actual research that you can look up, verify, and check, minus the hype and minus the FUD, just straight research, then I'm your person. I'm a researcher, and I apply the research, and I use it for myself, and I share it with you. So I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you, and I hope everyone has a good one. Until next time, this has been the Underdog Research Channel.